I think it's hard to find a more stupid and base, instinctual, just totally unsophisticated way of categorizing people than race. It's really hard to think of something more stupid than that, right? At least religions have some justification in group dynamics and existential dread and such. And nationality, of course, divides people by the sorts of authority under which they fall, which does speak to some sort of common experience, but race is a totally fucking made up, arbitrary concept that doesn't. It totally falls apart under any kind of scrutiny, which just makes the concept of taking pride in it, taking pride in one's race, or don't even get me started on ethnicity. Ethnicity is even more vague than race, because at least race is like simple categories, and the generally accepted categories are like white people and black people and brown people and yellow people and red people. But then with ethnicities, it gets into stupid shit like, who were your ancestors like 300 years ago and from where did they hail? And that, when you have mixture like that over generations, it becomes difficult to even say that people are from a particular group at all, which oh god, it's so dumb. So the idea of basing pride on this, the idea of being proud of these arbitrarily categorized physical traits, or like the places that your ancestors happen to come from, neither of which have any real bearing on who you are or where you are now, is just pathetic, right? I mean, it's bad enough to take pride in something that you didn't do, that isn't the result of your actions, which automatically makes your pride totally unjustified and incredibly egotistical and sad. But to then base it on something as stupid and arbitrary as your race or your ethnicity is just... oh my god. And by the way, this goes for minorities too. If you react to racism from the dominant group by proclaiming that you have pride in your ethnicity, fucking stop. Because that only perpetuates the idea that, you actually are part of a race, and that's an important category that we should continue to fucking use. See, this is why I don't often talk about, stuff that the right is obsessed with. The right is often very obsessed with race and ethnicity and, purity of the bloodline and, keep the immigrants out and shit. And it's because it's so obviously stupid, and yet people believe it anyway. And they won't stop. And it doesn't seem to matter how much anyone argues against it. They just won't stop. It's baked into our psychology, and it just makes me tired and not want to talk about it, because it's what's the point? What is the point of trying to argue that people shouldn't be racist, that they shouldn't take pride in arbitrary nonsense, if they keep fucking doing it anyway, all the time, every day, and they never listen?